Okay, so today we're going to be looking into Vivek Ranadivé.
Oh, yeah.
He's a pretty interesting guy.
Yeah, he is a fascinating figure for sure.
Some might call him a visionary,
Mm-hmm.
others not so much.
Yeah.
Like, is he genuinely, like, changing the world or just kind of playing everyone for profit?
Right. And you've given me a lot to go through with this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Articles and legal documents.
Yeah.
Even some pretty opinionated forum comments.
Oh, wow, yeah.
There's a lot of different perspectives on this guy.
Well, that's what makes this deep dive so interesting, right?
Absolutely.
It's like, we really need to spelunk through all this hype and all the controversy surrounding Vivek.
Yeah.
And, like, figure out if his actions back up all his big talk.
Yeah.
So let's just start with his beginnings, right?
Yeah.
Like, where did this guy come from?
So his origin story.
Yeah.
It's like a classic rags to riches tale.
Yeah.
Grew up in India.
Yeah. Went to MIT.
MIT and Harvard.
Crazy.
And boom, founded this billion-dollar software company, TIBCO.
Yeah, TBCO, I mean, what?
It's not just the success.
Yeah.
It's the how he got there.
Yeah.
That's what's really fascinating.
Like that story about him needing to convert rupees to dollars to go to MIT.
Right.
He just, like, camped out in front of the Reserve Bank of India governor's office.
Until they gave him what he wanted.
I mean, that's some serious, like...
Talk about persistence.
Yeah, persistence, that's one way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting this vibe from him, like, bend the rules to get what you want kind of thing.
Mm.
Do you think that drive,
Yeah.
that almost ruthlessness,
Yeah.
you know, like, is that what propelled him to the top?
It definitely played a role.
Yeah.
But the question is, does that same approach work in every situation?
Yeah.
Because, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Vivek's time as owner of the Sacramento Kings has been anything but smooth sailing.
That's a nice way to put it.
Uh-huh.
Remember that Bagley over Doncic draft pick?
Oh, yeah. How could you forget?
Like, Kings fans still talk about that.
You're still talking about it.
Like, to this day.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's got to be a textbook example of ego over expertise, right?
Yeah. It definitely raises some questions about Vivek's decision-making process.
Yeah.
The Sacramento Bee actually goes into detail about a lot of these questionable calls.
Okay.
Not just the draft picks.
Okay.
It seems like Vivek has a tendency to trust his gut,
Oh.
even when it goes against what his advisors are telling him.
So he thinks he knows better.
Well, it seems that way sometimes.
And, like, the fans are not shy about, you know,
oh, no.
voicing their very strong opinions.
I see.
Like at the King's Herald Forum, some of those comments.
Yeah, they can be pretty brutal.
Brutal and hilarious at the same time.
Uh.
Like, is this where I parked my car?
Oof.
It's been so long since they've made the playoffs.
Yeah, it's rough.
It's clear there's some kind of disconnect there, right?
Definitely.
Between Vivek's vision and the reality on the court.
Yeah, for sure.
So it seems like this tendency to overrule experts. It's not limited to just basketball, right?
It goes beyond basketball for sure.
Remember that New Yorker piece?
Oh, yeah, the one with his daughter's basketball team.
Yeah, he coached his daughter's youth basketball team.
Full court press, every game, no matter what.
Like, every game,
Yeah.
no matter
He
what.
called it real-time processing.
It's like he was running a business.
Yeah, not coaching kids.
It's wild.
Yeah.
So he instituted this rule
Oh, yeah, tell me about it.
where the players weren't even allowed to dribble,
No, girl.
only pass.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
He wanted them to make decisions instantly
Oh, my goodness.
to disrupt the flow of the game.
Disrupt.
Yeah. It's like he can't resist, like, tinkering,
Yeah.
trying to optimize everything,
Mm.
even when it doesn't make sense.
Right.
But this brings up a question.
Yeah.
How did this real-time philosophy work out for him in the business world?
Right.
Was TBCO just a fluke?
Not at all.
Okay.
TBC was revolutionary.
Okay.
Vivek's information buses technology completely changed the way companies handle data.
Okay, so break that down for me. Like,
Sure.
for those of us who are not like tech wizards,
Yeah.
why was TIBCO such a big deal?
Okay, so imagine trying to track a package delivery in real time,
Okay.
but instead of seeing its current location,
Yeah.
you only get updates once a day.
Oh.
That's what businesses were dealing with before TIBCO.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So essentially, Vivek created a way for businesses to get constant updates
Exactly.
on everything.
Right.
Make decisions based on the most current information.
Exactly. And in the fast-paced world of finance,
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And that's why TIBCO became so successful. But
Okay.
the question is,
Yeah.
does that same real-time approach make sense in a game like basketball?
That's the question.
Right.
Because basketball has timeouts for a reason,
Exactly.
right? Is Vivek trying to force a square peg into a round hole?
Me?
Is he just blinded by his success in tech?
Possibly.
That he can't see how different the NBA really is.
Right.
That's what we have to figure out.
Yeah, we need to dig deeper.
But before we do,
Yeah.
we have to address the elephant in the room.
Which is?
The controversy surrounding Vivek's son, Anil.
Oh, yeah. Anil.
That IQ score incident.
The IQ score incident.
That raised some eyebrows.
Yeah. Not in a good way.
Didn't he ask potential investors in his venture capital firm
Yes.
for their IQ scores and personality test results?
He did.
Seriously?
It was covered in a Vice article,
Okay.
and it sparked a huge backlash.
Yeah.
People accused him of being elitist.
Yeah.
Discriminatory.
Of course.
He eventually apologized, but the
Yeah.
damage was done.
I mean, it makes you wonder about the values, right?
Yeah.
Being instilled in the Ranadivé family,
Definitely.
is disruption just an excuse for bad behavior?
It's a question worth exploring.
Yeah, because if we're trying to figure out if Vivek is a visionary or a con artist,
Right.
we need to understand not just his actions,
Yeah.
but his motivations.
Absolutely.
And that includes understanding the environment he created for his family and for those around him.
Yeah.
So we've got Vivek,
Yeah.
the brilliant tech innovator, the bold NBA owner,
Yeah.
the controversial father figure.
A lot to unpack. It's
Yeah.
going to get interesting.
This is going to get interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's rewind a little bit.
Okay.
Go back to Vivek's early years.
Okay, back to his childhood.
Yeah, he grew up in Juhu Beach.
Okay.
It's a suburb of Mumbai.
Okay.
His family wasn't wealthy, but they really prioritized education
Okay.
and encouraged achievement.
Gotcha. And it seems like young Vivek was a bit of a handful,
Haha. Yeah, I've heard that.
always building things, experimenting, pulling pranks, but also like a top student,
Yeah,
winning awards.
right.
There's even a Ranadiv award named after him.
Wow,
mean-
it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it really speaks to that like duality
Yeah.
we were talking about earlier, this mix of rebelliousness
Right.
and ambition.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And then you add in his family background.
Yeah.
It adds like another layer to this.
Okay.
Like his grandfather was a freedom fighter in India.
Wow.
So that instilled in Vivek a strong sense of social justice, a belief in challenging authority.
Yeah, so it's like,
It's in his blood.
yeah, fighting for what he believes in,
Right.
going against the grain. It's like hardwired into him.
It seems that way.
It's a pattern we see, right?
Yeah.
Throughout his whole life.
Uh-huh.
From those early clashes with the Reserve Bank of India
Yeah.
to his battles with the MBA establishment.
Right. He's not afraid to fight for what he believes in.
Yeah, he's fearless.
And then there's his father,
Okay.
former pilot, became a very vocal critic of the Indian government.
Oh, wow.
He was actually blacklisted for a while.
Really?
Couldn't work.
Oh,
That experience obviously had a profound impact on Vivek.
yeah, I can imagine.
It shaped his views on power, resilience,
Fair.
standing up for what you believe in.
Yeah, that totally explains his, like, willingness to take risks. Like leaving India at 17
To go to MIT
to go to MIT.
with $50 in his pocket.
Wow.
No guarantees.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and remember this
Yeah.
was back in the 70s
Oh, yeah.
when India had strict currency controls.
Right.
So he had to convince the Reserve Bank of India to
Yes.
let him convert his rupees to dollars.
And he just camped out in front of the office?
He camped out until they caved.
Wow.
You gotta admire the guy's persistence.
Yeah, if nothing else, Vivek knows how to make a statement.
He does.
But I guess that's what it takes, right?
You
To be a disruptor.
gotta push boundaries,
Yeah,
break the rules.
And that's exactly what he did
They did.
at MIT.
It did good.
Got his bachelor's and master's.
In 4 years.
In 4 years.
While also getting an MBA from Harvard.
What?
Yeah, talk about a go-getter.
This guy does not like to waste time.
No, he doesn't.
But it sounds like he never really felt at home in these institutions.
Like he was itching to shake things up.
Yeah, like he didn't really fit in.
Yeah, he knew he was meant for something more.
Yeah, he felt stifled.
By the bureaucracy.
Yeah.
The slow pace of change.
So after short stints at Ford and Motorola,
Yeah,
he just took the leap
he did.
and founded his first company.
Technicron Software Systems.
And that's where his real genius emerged, right?
This is where it all began.
Yeah.
He developed this groundbreaking software
Yeah.
called the information bus.
And this is what we talked about earlier, right?
This is it.
Changed how businesses process data.
Revolutionized it.
Yeah, it was all about that real-time information flow.
Connecting different systems.
Yeah.
Making them talk to each other.
And this was like the mid-'80s, right?
Mid-'80s.
Like when computers were still these massive, clunky things.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's amazing that he was already like envisioning this interconnected, data-driven world.
He was ahead of his time.
Yeah, way ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
And that led to the creation of TBCO.
In 1996.
Which became like the gold standard.
The gold
A
standard.
real-time data processing.
Yeah, companies were lining up
Yeah.
to get their hands on his software.
So with TBCO's success, Vivek became a Silicon Valley icon,
Yeah.
writing books, giving speeches.
The gospel of real time.
Yeah, real time. Everything.
Everything.
Like he was living the dream, right?
Yeah, he was on top of the world.
But it seems like something was still missing.
Something was missing.
Yeah.
He wanted a new challenge,
Okay.
a new arena to conquer.
And that's when he set his sights on
The NBA.
the NBA.
Yeah, in 2010, he bought a minority stake in the Golden State Warriors.
Okay.
His first taste of pro sports.
And he was hooked.
Immediately.
Yeah, he saw the potential.
He saw the potential to apply his data-driven approach
Yeah.
to a game that he felt was
Yeah.
stuck in the past.
Okay.
He wanted to disrupt the NBA.
But buying a minority stake wasn't enough.
No, it wasn't enough.
He wanted control.
Control.
And that's what led him to
Kings-
the Sacramento Kings.
In 2013.
The Kings were on the verge of being relocated to Seattle.
Yeah.
And Vivek swooped in
Dramatic last-minute bid.
to keep the team in Sacramento.
He promised to revitalize the franchise,
Yeah.
make them champions.
It was a gamble,
Huge gamble.
but one he was willing to take.
Oh, yeah. He loves a challenge.
And for a while, there was a sense of hope, right?
There was.
He brought in some big names, made some bold moves.
Yeah, but as we know,
Things haven't exactly gone according to plan.
no, not at all.
The Kings have struggled,
Yeah.
and a lot of it seems to stem from Vivek's management style.
Mm.
He's been accused of meddling,
Oh, yeah.
overruling his coaches and GMs,
Great.
making decisions based on gut feeling rather than data.
So is this a case of a brilliant mind failing to adapt to a new environment?
It's possible.
Or is there something more fundamental here?
Yeah.
A flaw in his thinking
Maybe.
that's preventing him from achieving that same level of success in the NBA?
That's the million-dollar question. And to answer that,
Yeah.
we need to take a closer look at this real-time philosophy.
Yeah.
Because on the surface, it sounds great.
It
right?
sounds good.
Make decisions, quickly adapt on the fly,
Yeah.
disrupt the status quo.
Yeah, it's all about speed and agility.
But does that really work in the NBA?
That's what we need to find out.
Is basketball a game that you can win with algorithms
Nice.
and instant reactions?
We'll explore that more
Okay.
in the final part of our deep dive.
Okay, so we're going to dissect this real-time approach.
Analyze his successes and failures.
Yeah.
And ultimately
Yeah.
try to determine if Vivek's a true visionary
Hmm.
or if this real-time philosophy is actually his Achilles heel.
All right, so we've talked about how Vivek's a pretty complex guy.
Yeah, definitely not a simple figure.
Like brilliant, ambitious-driven,
Mm.
but also makes these decisions that,
Yeah, some questionable calls for sure.
yeah, so let's get down to it.
Okay.
Does his real-time philosophy that works so well in the tech world,
Right.
does it really translate to basketball?
That's the big question.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
on the surface, it sounds like it should, right?
It does.
Like eliminating lag, making instant decisions.
Adapting on the fly.
Sounds perfect for the NBA.
Yeah, it does. But as we've seen with the Kings,
Yeah.
it hasn't exactly translated to wins.
Oh, no.
So is basketball just like too different
Mm.
from software and data?
Well, I think the key difference is
Yeah.
in tech, Vivek succeeded by eliminating delays,
Right.
getting rid of that lag,
Okay.
making information flow instantly.
Yeah.
He saw batch processing, that old way of doing things,
Yeah.
as slow and efficient.
Right.
And he was right.
Yeah.
But basketball,
Yeah.
it has a rhythm, a flow.
Yeah.
It's not just about reacting instantly. It's
Yeah.
about reading the opponent, anticipating their moves,
Right.
working as a team.
So it's more nuanced?
Exactly.
It's like trying to speed up a symphony orchestra?
Yeah, you can't just tell the musicians to play faster.
Right.
There's a tempo, a structure that makes it work.
Yeah. And I feel like forcing players to make these split-second decisions.
Like Vivek did with his daughter's team.
Yeah.
That can actually disrupt that flow.
Right. It creates chaos instead of harmony.
Exactly.
Didn't he also try to implement a no dribbling rule?
Oh, yeah, that was interesting.
It's like he was trying to turn basketball.
Into a high-speed chess match.
That's a great analogy.
Because in chess, Every move is calculated,
Yeah.
deliberate.
Right.
But basketball,
Yeah.
it's improvisation.
Yeah, it's instinct.
You got to react to what's happening.
Yeah.
Adjust your strategy as you go.
And we can't forget about, like, the human element.
Oh, yeah, that's crucial. Basketball players aren't robots.
Right. They have emotions, personalities.
Strengths, weaknesses.
Trying to impose this rigid, data-driven system,
Yeah.
it can really backfire.
And that seems like what's been happening.
It seems that way.
So are we saying that this real-time philosophy
Mm-hmm.
is actually his downfall in the NBA?
It could be a major factor.
Like his inability to let go. Yeah, to trust the experts.
Is that what's holding the Kings back?
Look at the Bagley over Doncic draft.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone was telling him to pick Doncic.
Everyone.
Scouts, everyone.
But he went with his gut.
And it backfired.
Big time.
Yeah. And it's not just the draft picks.
Yeah, it's the coaches, the GMs.
The Kings have gone through so many.
Yeah. It's like he's constantly tinkering.
Always trying to find the perfect formula.
Never giving anyone enough time to, like...
Build something.
Yeah, to build something lasting.
Yeah, like he sees the team as a software program.
That he can just recode at will.
Trying to eliminate those human errors.
But in doing so...
Yeah.
Disrupting the team's development.
Yeah, disrupting the flow.
And what about the human cost in all this disruption?
Right. The players, the coaches.
We've read about players feeling marginalized, coaches undermined.
It seems like this focus on winning
Yeah.
at all costs,
Yeah.
it's created this culture of instability.
And distrust.
Yeah, it's not a healthy environment.
So where does that leave us? Is Vivek a visionary or a con artist?
I don't think it's that simple.
Yeah, he's got this brilliant mind.
He does.
A drive to succeed.
Yeah.
But his methods,
Yeah.
they seem to create more problems than they solve.
He's a bit of a walking contradiction.
He is.
Like, all the ingredients for success are there,
Yeah.
but he keeps messing up the recipe.
Yeah, he's got the right idea.
But the wrong execution.
Yeah, so what's the verdict?
Hmm.
Grifter or gifted?
I don't think we can say for sure.
Yeah.
He's both and neither.
Vivek is a fascinating case study.
He is.
In ambition, innovation.
And the perils of an unchecked ego.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what he could achieve
Hmm.
if he learned to, like, trust the process.
To empower those around him.
Yeah, could he turn the Kings into a winning team?
It's possible.
Or is he destined to be remembered as the owner who destroyed a team with his own brilliance?
Only time will tell.
That's a good note to end on.
Yeah, it's a story that's still being written.